All right, we're back working on the door here. Got some issues after I welded these mirror holes closed. And what happened is the door kind of pulled in. And so you can kind of see it here. We've got a little bit of a gap here. So I'm gonna try to address that, especially right here. So what I'm gonna try to do is just pull this out. You can see I cut a slit in here. I was hoping that if I did that, it would kind of relax. It didn't really happen. So I'm gonna use the stud welding machine here and then just start pulling on this a little bit. So any professional body guys out there, I'm sure I'm gonna butcher this, but it's metal. We'll get it moving and then we'll get this looking better than it is. So stay tuned. I think I'll start down here in the bottom. Just start pulling on this a little bit, see if we can get that to relax. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing that, going through this, getting this to pull out a little bit. I'll keep spot checking it with the ruler. Once we get this feeling a little bit better, I'll come right back. Okay, been pulling on this for a bit. You can see all these marks, kind of been just pulling and then give it a tap around it with a hammer, just to kind of relax it. Here's a look. You can see that gap is much better. Still a little bit of a gap in there, but I think that's probably acceptable for this door. There's a better look. So I'll probably pull a little bit closer to this line, try to get that out a little bit, because that's consistently low. And then we need more work up here. So I'll start pulling along this top line here. And then as we're getting up closer here, that's pretty low. Okay, so yeah, we've got some more work to do from basically this line here to get that pulled out just a touch. And then this whole part is low from about here to here. It kind of just sunk in. So that might be a little tougher to do because it's pretty firm, but we're gonna give it a shot, see what we can do. Let's do it. Okay, been pulling on this thing for a while. You can see here, it's actually a little high right here. And then right here, it's looking pretty good. Just a little gap there, might be able to get that up. Little low in this area here, and then a little high right here. So we got to get this to come up and this to go down. So we'll work on that. If we're looking right here, this just needs to go in a touch and this needs to come out. Hopefully you guys can see that. Coming up here, this section's actually pretty good, and through here it's still a little bit low. I can just feel it. So basically my approach is I'm pulling up here, trying to tap this here to get that to go lower and kind of just go like this. Same thing over here. Get this part to go down, just to come up, just like that. So this is gonna take a little bit more. Got a ton of little marks all over this thing. I gotta do some more pulling, so I might have to grind this down just a bit, get the surface conditioned, and then start going again. Down here is looking pretty good. Smooth across here, but we still got a low between these 2 points here. So this part, and then this part's pretty low. So trying to pull it out, it's rather difficult, but we're getting there. Okay, here's a little update. Still a little low here. I mean, all over, but if we can bring that up down here, that'd be good. Same with up here. A little low right here, but I think I'm gonna leave that one alone because I can't really get up here to pull this out. Down there, better. It starts to get low down here, so I'm gonna start working this, pulling it up, getting that blended from here up, and then I'll probably do a little bit more work down here. All right, got the door back off the truck. This still got a little bit of a low. I got this welded up here. It pulled it back down just a little bit, but I'm gonna stop for a second and I'm going to get this part, the paint stripped off of here. I'm gonna try to shrink this down because this is all bunched up. I think shrinking this down will help ease some of this. And then I have access to this from the back side, so I can just get something in there and hammer that to push that up. So cool. Let's get this part stripped. Got the paint stripper down. Start to seal it, peeling up. We're gonna cover it with plastic. That'll help it. All right, we'll let that sit for 15, 20 and come back to it. All right, I got all the paint stripped off here. Did 2 coats of the paint stripper and it took it right off. So got a couple of the rough spots cleaned up, and now I'm gonna try to shrink some of this metal here. Got a shrinking disc. This metal right here is stretched, so I'm gonna try to get that shrunk back down here. So, okay, got this smoothed out a little bit. Probably gonna need to do a bit more work here. Kind of working this area, got some low right here, trying to get that to pull in. It expanded and kind of sunk down, so trying to get it to shrink. And then a little bit of work still to do right here, but you can see here, got this oil canning here, so I'm gonna focus in this area right here, try to get that to pull a little tighter. This one's still pretty good, but this one, let's see if we can get that taken care of. Okay, got a good amount of heat in here. You can see that steam. And then you cool it off, and that's when the metal starts to shrink. Okay, it's already a little bit better. Still a little oil canning, but you can already see it's better than it was. So this is pulled up, this is pulled tighter. That's kind of lifting up a little bit. Let's do it a couple more times here. Try to get some of that out of there. There's a low spot here. There was a dent here, so that's kind of helping it. Also, we had these door mirror holes here and here that I filled in somewhere. I can't really see. I think here and here, but there were lows both here. And so we're just trying to get this smoothed out. Lift this up a little bit. Bring this down a little bit. Yeah, more shrinking to do. Okay, got a little bit of work done. Still got a low spot here. It's kind of hard to see, but I need to get this a little bit lower, stretch that, but might be able to see that. Since that's low, if I tighten this up, you might be able to see that raise right there. So I'm gonna do some work to tighten this up, try to get that to pop up. It's just kind of rocking back and forth here, so if we can get this a little tighter, hopefully that'll relax and come up. Okay, did a bunch of work here. We got most of the oil canning out from right here. Got that out here. This is all feeling pretty good. Got a little bit remaining right here. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to get a profile shot here, but just a tiny bit right here. It's low here. It's a little high right here, so I'm gonna just try to pull that in just a tiny bit. Shrink this right here. Still there. Just gonna have to do that a couple times. Feels a little better. Okay, that's tightened up. Here's a look at it. It's not really popping anymore, so it did shrink. So that feels a lot better. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So this is still not perfectly smooth and level, but it is a lot better than it was. Here remains to be a little bit low, but I think I'm okay with that. I think a little bit of filler in there should do the trick. Let's give it one more check over this panel. So in this area here, I threw it back on the truck. This whole section was a little bit low, so I threw it back on the truck and used this stud puller just to kind of pull it back up. And so that's feeling better. We got a little oil canning down here, got that taken care of. There's no more oil canning, maybe just a touch right here, but I'm not gonna mess with that. If I really push on it, it folds in, but I don't want it to sink in, so that's feeling pretty good. Cool. This is feeling pretty good. I don't think I have really any major dents to pull out. So I think I'm gonna wrap this one up right here. This is probably the end of the metal work on this door. Got most of the dents pulled to a place where I feel like I can fill it in. Again, not going for perfect. And this is just purely good enough to be purely going for a rat look. And so a little deviation is okay. I accept that on this panel. It's gonna match the rest of the truck. And if this was perfect, then it would stand out from the rest of the truck, and I'm not really going for that. Maybe someday I'll restore this truck, but that day is not going to be today. So let's leave it right here. In the next videos, I'll start priming this and then start doing the actual bodywork, filler work, and then we'll get some color on it. So stay tuned. If you want to follow along, feel free to subscribe, but I'm going to leave it right here. Thanks for watching.